I can see your face. Okay. Hi guys, welcome back to Believe Something Better, the video series, I guess, put out by Believe Better Ministries at BelieveBetterMinistries.com. We are a ministry dedicated to helping people believe in something better, believe in something more than just the religiosity of this world. Yes, believing in something higher than us is a religion, but it doesn't have to be religiosity of us trying to achieve that up there. So I started this mini-series on my Bible. This is my Bible, and the last time I spent 45 minutes talking at you guys about the Bibles that got me started down the path. And the Bible that I'm currently using, still using that Bible right now. I mean, didn't expect me to finish it over just that course of time, but so I wanted to continue on that path. So that was, I told you guys about that little NASB last time. So if you haven't watched that video, because of how long it is, I apologize. I talked about the first two Bibles I ever got. The first one being my dad's Gideon while he was in the army. The second one being given to me as a gift. It was just a little, I'm sure it was just a little economy version, like this. Holman sent this to me as a review copy of the Christian Standard Bible. Really appreciated that. I read through a lot of it and looked through a lot of it. I really like what they're doing. There's different things that are going on, and it's not quite as literal as I like to be, but I'm reading the NIV right now. Can I really complain about a Bible that's not so literal? But I wrote that review. It was posted on our website. It was in this most recent issue of Kalitero. If you haven't picked up Kalitero, please go to our website and you can download it for free as a PDF. It's a quarterly journal that we've started coming out with. Issue 2 is already planned out. We have a new Experiencing Something Better happening in that, a new editorial, a new article, new book reviews, more people who are submitting stuff instead of it just being me. I mean, I apologize if this first issue was just me. That's a completely different topic for another episode for Kalitero. But let's move on to, so that little NASB, and then my parents gave me my first Bible when I was 10, gave me that one that I just showed you, that NIV over here, when I was 14, and that one has just sat on the shelf until just recently when I took it down and I've started using it. It was kind of a promise to me and to my, not really to my parents. If it was a promise to my parents, it was unspoken. My shirt is just bunching up in the back like nobody's business. But really to me and to God, that I wanted to use that Bible. It's a study Bible. It has those good study notes in there. I wanted to use that Bible, and but high school, started me on this path of, you don't desecrate a book, you don't write in a book, you don't highlight, you don't underline. I mean, even I would rather type something into my computer than highlight in my textbooks when I was in college. So, I was that weird freak that did that. The next Bible this is the next Bible that I ever bought. And, so I had bought that little NASB, and of course this is going to be another little one, but it was this is an ESV. I bought this one originally at the time. It was for my girlfriend, who is now my wife, and so I don't think that I paid for it fully. I think she paid for part of it. I paid for part of it. It was something just kind of special. She wanted something that she could carry with her a little bit easier. And I was all in the NASV, the ESV at the time. NIV was on my poo-poo list, so that NIV was definitely staying on the shelf at that point. It's not literal, it's not blah 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 blah. So we got her the ESV. I sold it to her as kind of a bridge between the NASB, which I liked, and the NIV, which she liked, and it kind of sat on her shelf. I mean, she likes the NIV. It's easier for her to understand. They do a good job with making things easy. And this text, I mean, that's small. It's a lot thinner than the NASB I showed you last time. It's probably a little bit taller, but not quite as wide. But I mean, that text is small. I don't blame her. She likes the NIV. She has a Bible. She already had a Bible. I was being a rude dork and trying to replace the Bible that she already had. But anyways, so this is the one that we got her. I got her another ESV later, but she wanted that one. Got her name on the front of it, which she was all excited about. That was a special gift. It was in blue, I believe. It was a little bit bigger than this, easier to read. This is the 2001 ESV. That one was the 2007 ESV. And I've come to find out that I own a copy, that between me and my wife, we own a copy of every single ESV. 2001, I told you about the one that was 2007. I have several 2011s, and then I have then the Reader's Bible is a 2016. But this one hasn't gotten its fair share of use. Really, it really hasn't. It really just sits on the shelf. Neither her nor I carry this with us. I mean, it's great. It's little. Throw it in your bag. If you don't care about the pages getting ruined, you can take it with you anywhere. It's not me. But she surprised me one year and got me a Bible I had been pining over. I wanted to get back into my study Bible. I wanted a single column, bigger Bible. I like to read books, but textbooks are not my thing. So I had a hard time with the ESV. With the double columns, because just my eyes going back and forth too much. Especially with the small ones, which is what I was using at the time. I was using the NASB, and then I started using this ESV, and it's just my eyes are bouncing back and forth. So she got me this monster. I mean, so this one, shorter than my hand. You saw this NIV. This is a pretty good study Bible. I mean, it takes two hands to hold this thing. Different sizes. This thing is the same. This ESV study Bible is the same height. Huh? Yeah. It's just a scotch taller. And just a scotch wider front to back. But it is a behemoth of a Bible. And she got my name on it for me. For all y'all don't know, I am Ray Ballard May the 4th. Hence by going by my initials, RB. She got my name on it for me. And this Bible, first of all, I really like the notes in it. They kind of did it committee, which some people poo-poo on committee, but what it caused is it caused a real clear ecumenicalism in it, where we can all agree on the major doctrines, as that I want to do, and the minor doctrines, it doesn't matter. So the notes were written by one person of one bent, and then reviewed by another person of another bent. And I have some different colored bookmarks in there. The ribbon marker. Each one of those different colored bookmarks has a purpose. And so I see if I can even find any highlights in the New Testament. Holy guacamole. Hey, there's Colossians. I know I have a highlight in Colossians. That sounds really bad. It's orange. There's one. There's more. Oh, that's those highlighters I was trying to sell last time. There's a pink one. See, this paper is actually rather thin, because they didn't want it to be super big. I mean, heck, I'm on Colossians chapter 1. This is Colossians chapter 1, most of verse 20. Pretty much all of verse 20 except for one word. And verse 29. And that's page 2295. It's a big the Bible, you can just, I don't know if we can see it on the screen, but you can just barely see the ghosting of the pink through there. And look how deep and dark that is on that side. That's so pretty. Same thing happens all throughout this. But the blue, well, that blue's not too bad, but that blue highlighter was dying at the time. I mean, there's all sorts of resources in it. But the biggest thing for me was this single column. That is a block of text right there. That is the Bible, the Word of God right there. I like single column. I like books. Like I told you, I'm an aspiring author. And I like books. That is a hunk of text right there. This is most of First Chronicles chapter 17 on this page right here. I'm trying to get it where I can show it to this camera without hurting my Bible. That is a hunk of text right there. And that was really important for me. And it changed my relationship with God's Word. I don't know what to tell you. Some people, Jason Mayfield, I believe that's his name, Jordan Mayfield, Jason Mayfield, on Grace for You. He can't stand, he's got the Heirloom Legacy Bible, the ESV, which is a single column. Smaller than this. This one is particularly large because they're trying to fit all of these study notes, and there's color maps in there. They're trying to fit all that in there. And he doesn't like the Legacy Heirloom. And I'll address that in just a moment, but he makes his eyes have to travel farther. Which, okay, I can get that, but for me, 2 columns, it's not a book. Like I said, I'm an aspiring author. I've written things none of y'all have ever read them. It's science fiction. It's way beyond the word. But and when you publish it, it's 1 column, people. You go buy a book, it's in 1 column. You go buy a commentary, it's in 1 column. You go buy a trashy romance novel, it's 1 column. It's not 2, 3. If you have the references in the middle, it's 1 column. And so when you approach the Word and you put it on 1 column in paragraphs, like a book, it changes the way you read it. It changes the way you ingest it. And that's what this Bible did for me. Let alone be one of the greatest study references that I had at the time. My wife bought this for me for Christmas. It's got the family registry material in there. My uncle passed away in 2013. In Christmas 2012. My daughter was born in 2015. I wrote our marriage in there. I wrote my sister's marriage in there. So, it changed the way I approached the Bible. That was the biggest thing this did for me. And so then we get to move on. So that was a gift. And this one, just like that NIV one that I was talking about earlier, these 2 Bibles, if they were to burn up in a fire, I do not know what I would do. I would lose my mind. I would just be heartbroken. There's no getting them back. My wife could buy me this exact same Bible, but it wouldn't be the same Bible. And this one's out of print. Especially since it's the 1984 edition of the NIV. Then we get to, now I told you last time that I kept my NIV, my NASB, in the box. So this is the single column Heritage Bible. In, of course, ESV. I have to admit, guys, that's really my favorite translation. I didn't pay for no fancy. There's people, they swear by the calfskin. They, if you don't have calfskin in your hand or goat skin in your hand or fake leather. Fake leather. lays flat, lays open. Fake leather. Fake leather. I think this Bible cost me $18. I bought it myself. I bought it for myself. I bought it myself. This is really the first luxury purchase I made for myself as far as Bible was concerned after me and my wife got married. I bought this just before my daughter got here. I bought this in May of 2015. My daughter got here in September of 2015. I bought this one and one other Bible. I bought a thin line HCSB. It is essentially that study Bible without any of those study notes. This is one column. It still has the texts, chapter numbers, verse numbers. At the time, the Crossways had just come out with its first edition of its Reader's Bible. And so I was looking between this one and the Reader's Bible. I wasn't so sure about the Reader's Bible at that point. So I'm reading. So I open to, you will not find a highlight in this, by the way. Not a single one. Reading in John. Okay. So, right now, we are studying at the Willamette Bible Chapel, John chapter 6. Jesus walks on water. I read that passage. Hey, John, Rick? You remember in John where he's talking about Jesus walking on water? Yeah, something occurred to me. Verses. Hey, John chapter 6, verses 16 through 21, where Jesus walks on the water, in verse 20, something occurred to me. I was reading through that, and I decided to go look up what Jesus says, because I remember reading an interesting note about what Jesus says when he's coming up to the boat. See the difference there? As much as some people are angry about the verses because they are not part of the Bible, whether you like it or not, they're not part of the Bible. They're something that we added so that way we could reference the Bible easier. They are a useful construct to be able for us to reference the Bible easier. This is a nice Bible. It has kind of a rounded spine to it. It easily lays flat in the hand. It's not too big for my hand. It's bigger than the NASB. It easily lays open. The pages aren't too thin. Flip through it easy. There's only 1,809 pages. So what I did for myself, the reason why you won't find very many highlights in that study Bible in the New Testament was I was reading in there. I realized when I'm reading the Bible, I'll get to those pet passages and I'll just read the pet verses. Not very proud of it, but I have ADD. I also have dyslexia, so not my friend. I've outgrown my dyslexia a lot, I will admit. I was much worse when I was a kid, and actually I was a late bloomer as far as reading is concerned, which is why I love reading so much now. But when you have dyslexia, you try to decode as much of the information as you can to get at the heart of the matter, so you can ingest the heart of the matter and move on to the next. And then you ingest the heart of that and you move on to the next. And you ingest the heart of that, you move on to the next. And so on and so forth and so on and so forth. That's not the way we're supposed to approach God's Word. It's not what this is all about. It's not what our Bible is about. Our Bible is about fellowship and communion with the God of the universe. So when you open up to a page and you look at it and you go, I highlighted something right here. It says, I didn't highlight anything, guys. I'm just making this up off the top of my head. I said of laughter, it is mad, and of pleasure, what use is it? I searched with my heart how to cheer my body with wine, my heart still guiding me with wisdom. Dyslexia. Oh, I highlighted that. Okay, that sounds great. I didn't read all the verses on that page, did I? But I sure moved on to the next one. So what I did is I got another book, a secondary book to my Bible. I don't have it with me anymore, but I kept it on top of this. If I liked a verse, I wrote it down. Got out my, see a size difference here? My study Bible. And highlighted it. Just barely see that. Let's turn to Ecclesiastes and see if I did highlight anything in Ecclesiastes. That's back in Isaiah. I did, but not what I was reading. I perceive that whatever God does endures forever. Nothing can be added to it, nor anything taken from it. God has done it, so that people fear before him. That which is already has been, that which is to be already has been, and God seeks what has been driven away. And so I highlighted. And so I did start highlighting. So that's kind of the big thing, was I started reading. And yes, the NIV that I'm reading right now has the 2 columns with the third one in the middle, so it has 3 columns, plus down below it has 2 columns of study notes, and it has all the verses and all the notes and blah blah blah, and there's a lot on the page, and sometimes I will admit it's hard to read because all that stuff on the page, your mind just goes Ugh. Which is where I'm excited to start using that ESV Reader's Bible. But that's those are the kind of the 2 Bibles, the 3 Bibles that really brought me into, I want to say, my adult life as a Bible owner, a reader, whatever you want to call it. That kind of brought me into that enjoyable time where I was like, you know what, the Bible's awesome. I love the Bible. I have bought so many copies of the Bible since this is my first. I always thought that the Bible was out of reach because it is $90 to $100 to buy a Bible. I don't have that kind of money. How can these people have all these Bibles? Well, no, it's not anymore. It's not all the time that way anyways. So I was able to buy Bibles, and my wife would say I'm addicted to buying Bibles. I love the Bible. I wanted to show one more Bible. This one is special for Oregon. This one, it doesn't have any fancy foil or anything, but what that says that says waterproof Bible, if you can read it, and then it has a little thing down there. This again is the ESV. No highlights in here because this isn't paper. It is a polyurethane. This one came with 3 ribbons. Rather fine text because the pages are so thick. It is, I believe it is their Outreach Bible, which is made to be of a smaller text size than their other Bibles. Which, whatever. My eyes are young. I wear glasses. Doesn't bother me none. But the big draw for this one is just the fact that it's waterproof. And like I told you, I live in the Willamette Valley, Oregon. It rains 3/4 of the year. That there's a joke, summer was great last year. I remember it was on a Wednesday. Not true. Like I said, but it just rains a lot, okay? Right now we're in our fire season, so you would not believe the sky up above. It is just nasty. It is just nasty up there. Just gray, it's smoke, the sun goes down, it's red, the moon comes up, it's red. It's just nasty with smoke. Luckily it's up there, it's not down here, though you couldn't tell by my voice. And but with how much rain it gets, I like having a Bible. I know It's not going to get ruined. Put it under my arm. Not going to get ruined. I like carrying my Bible right there. I don't know why. It's why I carry my Bible. This Bible. This Bible. Even I took this guy to the meeting with me this last Sunday. Even that Bible. That's where I carry it right there. But that one is special because it's the translation that I like, and I know it's not going to get ruined. It goes right here under my arm. Not going to get ruined. So this kind of leads us into the question of what's next for this little series. So this kind of, because I've showed you the Bibles that I'm using right now. I've showed you the Bibles that I'm in the process, that I've been using, that I may go back to once I'm done reading the NIV. I'm going to bring up the ESV Reader's Bible. I'm going to talk a little, but my future plans now are to talk a little bit about why I have all these different Bibles, which ones I use. In the previous video I said, I use 2 or 3 Bibles all the time. And appended to the end of this is going to be a video snapshot that I took last time, right when I got done recording last time, of my bookshelf over there that has all my Bibles on it. And so I think going forward, I'm going to kind of break it into a few different things. One, I'm going to talk about my heritage. Now, I said I lost the Gideon's Bible that my dad gave me, yes, but then later on, when I was going into college, my dad gave me another special Bible, so I'm going to be bringing that one forward. It's a pocket-sized Bible, King James. It was one that his dad gave to him, which is why he waited until I was in college where I'd actually respect it. I did not lose that one. I'll tell you that right now. I'm going to bring out some of my grandfather's Bibles, some of my papa's Bibles, and then what that heritage is doing in my life with how I study the Word, as well as I'm going to go through why I have some different translations. I said last time, that Bible app, YouVersion, I have these downloaded. The ESV, the Christian Standard Bible, the World English Bible, the Net Bible, the New King James, the American Standard Bible from 1901, the HCSB, the King James Version, the New American Standard, the NIV. And those are all downloaded to my phone because I love comparative studies. There's a website that if you've never used it before, so we look on here. Oh, of course, there we go. This right here says Bible Hub. So this is Bible Hub. That's Breath of God Ministries, Believe Better Ministries, Bible Design Blog. That is the issue of Calitero. Open that up. That's our first issue of Calitero. It's out. It is actually on sale right now. So it's normally $10. It's on sale for 20% off. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. Arby's Universe, science fiction, webcomic, My Business. But this one is the important one right here, this Bible Hub. Okay, let me bring up a verse. Let's just do John 3:16. Sorry guys, I should have had this planned out. John 3:16. So what you get is you come here and you have a comparative study. These are all John 3:16 and a whole bunch of different versions. And then you can touch at the top, you can touch interlinear, brings up a Greek interlinear, touch Greek comparative study, where it will give you the words and kind of give you a little interlinear at the beginning, and then you can compare some different versions of the Greek. You can do the same thing in Hebrew, also gives you Strong's, all that sort of stuff. So I mean, like, it's a huge resource. I love comparative studies. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that in the future. yeah, I mean, just there's some great stuff out there, and I hope that we can go through it together in the future. So this is RB May for Believe Better Ministries. I hope that we have encouraged you to believe something better. Hey guys, so I'm tacking this on to video number 2 of my Bible, or whatever I'm going to call it. I have some fans going in Oregon. It's rather warm right now. We're in our fire season. You will not believe the color of the sky is just ugh. But I'm tacking this on to this just because I promised that I would show you what my Bible, I always forget this, bookshelf, what my Bible shelf looks like. Now, not all of these are my Bible. Some of them are my wife's. Some of them are special to me. Some of them we'll get to in future episodes, or get to in later episodes, or I haven't talked about any of these yet. But I just wanted to show you what the main bookshelf of my Bible bookshelf looks like. Okay, so by the front of our house, my wife is a camera nut. Strongest concordance, can't go anywhere without that. By the front of our house, we have these fancy bookshelves, and we're just starting to get them cleared out of some of the knickknacks that are in there. We are moving into a family home, and so I want to show you. They're really fancy. This is why I chose to put my Bibles in there. So this is the ESV 6-volume set that I talked about. Above it is the ESV, the Psalms. If you want a copy of just the Psalter, I totally would tell you to get a copy of that. It is not very expensive. It is beautiful. I'm going to be going into that in a future episode. But we have children's Bibles. One of those is my wife's. You know, they're both precious moments. One of them is a newer one. One of them is an older one. One of them is my wife's. One of them, my wife and I bought for our daughter for when she's older. This is a Masonic edition. It's a blasphemy edition. Whatever. I don't care. It's a King James version that was my grandfather's. He was a Mason. For right or for wrong, he was a Mason. He got over it later. And this is my pride and joy for him. I'll get to that in a moment. A New King James, a cheap one I just bought myself. A Slimline HCSB. This one is the MacArthur Study Bible, NASB. I love study Bibles. Schofield, I believe this is the Schofield 3 Living Bible, paraphrased. My wife's Bible, my wife's Bible, my wife's Bible, my papa's Bible. Oh, my grandfather and my papa are the same person. Okay, when I say my papa, my dad's dad. When I say my grandfather, my dad's dad. Unless I'm specifically talking about my mom's dad, in which I typically call him grandpa. A ESV Greek English Bible. I also have an interlinear, which I use all the time, and then my Hebrew English interlinear ESV. So that is the major Bible bookshelf, and they're all behind glass, being kept safe. That's a World Book, kids, if any of you know what a World Book is. And then we have, that's actually a Webster's Dictionary, and then J. Vernon McGee's Through the Bible, and then that's Prager's 500-page commentary on Exodus. So yeah, that is just the fancy bookshelves that we have over here. I'm going to be getting some of these out and talking about them, and I may have done so in this episode. So hope you appreciate that, and we'll talk to you guys later.